So it's good to acknowledge churches have a vital role in this time.
As the curve continues to flatten, churches are beginning to reopen. How they're protecting worshipers. Plus, bars and restaurants up north are reopened for dine-in. How owners in West Michigan are preparing to do the same. And a new warning from Michigan's Attorney General. Why officials say be on the lookout for COVID-19 related scams.
Live, local, breaking news. You're watching News Channel 3, live at 11.
All along, we've been saying that churches are essential.
Some Michiganders are going back to church for in-service worship. President Trump says places of worship are essential, regardless of governor orders. News Channel 3's Genevieve Grippo shows us how one Kalamazoo church is finally reopening after 7 weeks of virtual services.
For the first time in nearly 2 months, 12th Street Baptist Church is back open to the public.
We're not trying to pressure anybody back, but for those who want to be back, we'd like them to be back.
It comes just days after President Trump declared places of worship as essential services.
Some governors have deemed liquor stores and abortion clinics as essential, but have left out churches and other houses of worship. It's not right.
But Pastor Thaddeus Stout says it was Governor Whitmer's choice to reopen other businesses that prompted the move.
When the governor allowed for businesses to open up partially with X amount of people or percentage of people, we thought if businesses can go and have people in their building together, then we could meet, and as long as we safely distance, that we could meet as well.
Less than a third of the usual crowd attended the pastor's service. Hand sanitizer was placed on seats. The church also blocked off rows and encouraged churchgoers to wear masks. While some opt to worship in person,
being faithful to what he tells you to do.
The church is continuing to stream virtual services for those preferring to stay home.
And for all of them, we just encourage them, just watch from home until you feel that it is safe.
Other Michigan churches are also preparing to open doors. The Catholic Diocese of Kalamazoo sent out this notice saying in-person services will start Wednesday. While Governor Whitmer ordered there be no gatherings of 10 or more people, she also says that places of worship who violate that rule will not be subject to penalty. Reporting from home, Genevieve Grippo, News Channel 3.
All right, we want to know what you think. Genevieve posted this poll on her Twitter page. She's asking you if places of worship should be holding in-person services right now. And here are the results so far. 58% of people who voted say no. 34% say yes. To let us know what you think, just go to our Twitter page at WWMT News. All right, let's take a look now at the latest COVID-19 numbers for Michigan. Here's a live look at the state's data. There are 314 new confirmed cases and 5 new COVID-19 related deaths. You can see Michigan is reporting more than 54,000 COVID-19 cases. So far, the state says more than 33,000 people have recovered. Now, let's break those numbers down here in West Michigan. Kent County still has the highest number of cases with more than 3,000. Kalamazoo County has 797 cases. And not pictured here, Berrien County with 587 cases, 42 deaths. Cass County with 77 cases and 2 deaths. Some restaurants up north are now serving customers. Meanwhile, restaurant owners here in West Michigan say they're preparing to do the same. Vitali's Italian Restaurant and Sports Bar is ready to serve loyal customers again.
Prior to the COVID, 70% of our business was out in the dining room.
Comstock Park owner Agostino Vitali says he has a reopening plan in place using state guidelines given to restaurants up north.
We are going to be checking all employees' temperatures, and they're going to be filling out a screening questionnaire every time they come to work.
Vitali says staff will have specific duties to prevent spreading COVID-19.
Specific bussers to clean the tables so the server doesn't have to touch anything at the table. They're going to pick up dirty dishes and glasses, etc. We're going to have food runners, specifically just to run food, and they're not going to touch anything else on the tables.
When it comes to social distancing, Vitali says stickers are in place to make it easier.
We're going to have a washable table tent on every table, and then we're also going to have menu cards.
One of the most important things Vitali says he's implementing.
Once a week, we're doing a virus vaporizer.
Providing the EPA-registered hospital-grade disinfectant is EnviroMaster Services.
All that means is people safe, food safe, pet safe, and it's registered. Our specific germicide is registered with the EPA as effective against the coronavirus.
Nate Wolf is the owner.
One of the guidelines is to make sure you're disinfecting touch points and surfaces that are being touched on a frequent basis.
He says his employees have their own strict guidelines. That includes wearing masks and gloves. Wolf says it's nice to provide people with peace of mind.
We're in there, help you disinfect your business and make sure your employees, your customers, everybody feels safe in there.
We will continue. It's a new normal for us.
Vitale says he's hoping Governor Whitmer will allow them to start serving dine-in customers this week. And the Attorney General is warning Michiganders about scammers cashing in on COVID-19. News Channel 3's Tricia McCauley tells us how they're targeting people impacted by the pandemic.
The Better Business Bureau says scammers are trying to make money off of the COVID-19 pandemic by targeting those facing unemployment, people wanting to buy personal protective equipment, or someone looking for treatment for the virus. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel says the latest scam targets seniors. The scam promises for just $29.99, a COVID-19 vaccine will be sent right to your door. Only problem, there is no approved cure for the virus yet, and this is just another scam. West Michigan Better Business Bureau Educational Director Troy Baker says people should be cautious if something sounds too good to be true. He says ignore online offers for vaccinations, don't click on sources you don't know, and don't give out your personal information.
If you get a text message, if you get an email, and it has anything to do with coronavirus, you immediately need to use a little bit of skepticism. Really take a look at where it's from. Is this somebody you know, an organization or a person that you trust?
Baker says when in doubt, it's probably a scam. The BBB has a scam tracker on their website where you can report scams or see what scams are in your area. Reporting from home, Tricia McCauley, News Channel 3.
All right, you're looking live now over downtown Kalamazoo through our Peregrine Tower camera. It was absolutely beautiful today to unofficially start summer 2020. Meteorologist Will Haney joins us now live. Will, we finally hit 80s today, and you're telling us it's a trend that's going to continue.
Yeah, Callie, if you like today, you're going to love tomorrow and really the next several days. More warm and a little bit humid air on the way. And you can see even right now, temps still in the upper 60s, low 70s. There's some upper level clouds trying to work their way across Lake Michigan, but skies still mostly clear there in South Haven. No fog, at least kind of obscuring the South Pier. Now, temperatures right now in the lower 70s farther south. Today's high temperature, though, was 86 degrees in Kalamazoo, so we didn't just make it to 80. We kind of made it into the mid to upper 80s in many locations. And here's just an interesting factoid for you. So this year, again, today, May 24th, the first 80-degree day we've seen. Last year, it was also a little bit late, May 18th. We averaged right around April 29th. And look at that. You know, it could always be worse, right? In 1924, we didn't see 80 degrees until June 13th. Pretty interesting there. Here's live Doppler radar. We are dry as we look at the regional view. There's those upper level clouds I was talking about. They're not going to really do much, and any sort of storms or showers way off to the west. So we're not really seeing any potential rain overnight tonight. For tomorrow, we'll make a run again at about 86 degrees, but it does come with a little bit better of some pop-up showers and storms. We'll talk about the timing of that and their arrival in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Will. Well, many of us are getting outside this weekend. All 50 states are now open in some capacity. Christine Frizzell shows us the balance between the threat of the coronavirus and the determination to try to bring our country's economy back to life.
Around the country this Memorial Day weekend, a new test for Americans. To what extent will safety be a priority? In this New York park, these circles mark a safe social distance. And at beaches from coast to coast, a new wave of optimism.
Looks like America's opening up. There are literally thousands of people out here on the beach. And what I'm really pleased to see is that many of these folks, almost all of them, are doing a great job with social distancing.
Welcome to Santa Monica, the home of the three-piece bathing suit, a bikini, and a face mask.
Face masks still strongly recommended by top health officials who warn the disease continues to spread from those who are asymptomatic.
That means that people are spreading the virus unknowingly, and this is unusual in the case of respiratory diseases in many cases. So you don't know who's infected.
This, as wearing a mask for some has become a political issue, with some state leaders begging people not to make it one.
If someone is wearing a mask, they're not doing it to represent what political party they're in or what candidates they support. They might be doing it because they've got a 5-year-old child who's been going through cancer treatments.
An emotional plea as this country hits the grim milestone of nearly 100,000 deaths from COVID-19. The cover of the Sunday New York Times marking the moment, printing the names of 1,000 or just 1% of those, with a subheadline that reads, "They were not simply names on a list, they were us."
And tonight, the economic toll is also on the minds of many. With both the House and the Senate out of Washington for most of next week, there are questions about what the next round of relief will look like, and a new warning from the White House that the unemployment rate for the month of May could be a number, quote, north of 20%.
As so many businesses have suffered, so too have state budgets. Many governors forecasting bleak outlooks for the months ahead.
And we had to cut or defer over $5 billion of expenditures, and this includes potentially laying off educators, firefighters, police, EMS, healthcare workers.
The hope now that the slow reopening will spell relief for those who need it most. I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
This weekend, many families are cleaning up from historic flooding in mid-Michigan. Homes were destroyed after the Edenville and Sanford dams failed. This weekend, FEMA and Michigan lawmakers surveyed the damage. Sandy Clark says she's lost a lot, but she says she's thankful she has a home to return to.
And now today came and they cleaned the whole basement so it's nice and clean now, because it was all just mud everywhere, up my stairs, and ugh. It's really sad, but I feel lucky because I am fortunate I didn't lose my whole house.
President Trump approved an emergency declaration to help flooding response efforts. The company that owns the dams is already facing a lawsuit from property owners who were impacted. It may be hard to believe, but we are just months away from the upcoming presidential election. What President Trump has to say about his Democratic opponent in an exclusive interview.
We're a seasonal business. We haven't had steady income since last October.
One local racing community opens their track for private racers only. What the owners are doing to ensure people's safety.
When you see breaking news happen, call the News Channel 3 Breaking News Hotline at 1-800-875-3333 or email us breakingnews3@wwmt.com.
With Kelly and Ryan. Dresses.
Welcome back to News Channel 3 Live at 11. I'm Callie Rainey. President Trump has his eye on the 2020 election. In this exclusive interview with Cheryl Atkinson, he talks about the upcoming election and former Vice President Joe Biden.
What do you think is Joe Biden's strongest feature as a competitor in politics?
Well, I would have said experience, but he doesn't really have experience because I don't think he remembers what he did yesterday. So how is that experience? He's been there a long time. He was never known as a smart person.
Pick one good thing. Okay, what is his weakest point, do you
can't
think?
tell you. I mean, I'm really serious. He's got many. I could talk about weak points all day long. First of all, he's not mentally sharp enough to be president. He's got China. He's got all these countries. Russia. I've been the worst thing that ever happened to Russia. Putin understands that. I get along with Putin, but he understands that. He probably doesn't want me to win, I can tell you right now, except I think he likes me, but I'm sure he doesn't want me to win. China doesn't want me to win, but Biden doesn't know. I mean, he doesn't know he's alive. I'm against somebody. Think of it. I'm against somebody that can't answer simple questions. I've never seen anything like it, but here's what I am against. I'm against a very powerful party, the Democrats, and they can take this glass of water and say that's your candidate. I'm against a very powerful and very corrupt party. It's a very corrupt party, the Democrats, and we caught them. But I'm against a very powerful party, and I'm against the real obstructionist, which is the media, because the media is corrupt in this country. It's totally corrupt, whether it's a poll or a story. I do a good thing, and I get a bad story. I do another good thing, I get a bad story. I get no stories. Ventilators, I did such a good job, I get no stories. The economy, I never got. When did you see me get good stories? Prior to the plague coming in from China, when did you see me get a good story on the great job I've done with the economy? They never gave me a good, and yet I was setting records. 142 times I had a new stock market record. And you know what? I'm not so far away from that again, believe it or not. But if Biden gets in, the market will crash.
You can see Cheryl's full interview with President Trump. Just head to our website, WWMT.com, or you can download our free News Channel 3 mobile app. And the Indianapolis Motor Speedway would be packed this weekend, but the Indy 500 was canceled due to COVID-19. So it hosted what might be the largest food giveaway in state history. That's according to Gleaner's Food Bank of Indiana. They gave groceries to 5,000 households this weekend, including fresh fruit, vegetables, meat, and dairy items. Several Indy drivers even showed up to support the event. The food bank CEO says hunger in the U.S. is up about 48% due to the pandemic. And back here in West Michigan, this Tuesday would be opening day for the Kalamazoo Growlers. But because of the governor's stay-home order and their park being flooded, it isn't happening. So the Growlers are hosting a new fun event, and they're calling it Curbside Concessions. People pre-order their favorite game day foods, then they pick it up curbside at Homer Stryker Field.
Anything we can do to kind of provide something for the community, to keep ourselves kind of out front and remind people that we're here, we're still doing some fun things. And so this is kind of the first event that we're hosting. And we've got plans for a few more coming up too.
Yeah, well, Curbside Concessions started today, and they'll be doing it tomorrow too. Organizers are still taking orders. You're in luck. Well, this weekend is the unofficial start to summer. It's really starting to feel and look like it too.
Holy crap!
Check out this video of South Haven today. You can see hundreds of people on the beaches. Locals say the crowds look smaller than normal though, almost like an end of summer crowd. One family drove all the way from Troy.
We got sick of staying indoors. The kids were bouncing off the walls, so we decided to hop in the car and found the first open beach that we saw on the internet. Drove straight out here. About 3 hours later, we pulled over and found the first beach we came to, and that was it.
Most of the people are doing the right thing. They're in smaller groups and spread out, and I'm really not afraid to be here with my family today.
Wow, what a great day for that, too. The showers and drinking fountains were covered to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. But it doesn't look like many people are getting in the water, Will. I'm guessing Lake Michigan is probably still pretty cold.
Yeah, you'd have to pay me some money to get in that water right now. It's at peak afternoon heating. It got up to about 60 degrees today. I usually don't start getting in until it's closer to 70 at the very least, but I'm also kind of a baby in that department. Here's the view right now in Marshall. We're seeing temperatures still really more warm, even still right now. 72 right now in Kalamazoo, 75 in Three Rivers, and 69 at this hour in South Haven. As we look at our temperature history in the last 2 weeks, today 86 the high. That was the warmest we've been so far this year. And obviously, if it's the warmest we've been so far this year, it's the warmest we've been in the last 2 weeks. But the big change is that we're just in this much warmer than average pattern now, at least for the next couple days. And it's all thanks to this trough ridge pattern. A ridge of high pressure is setting up in the jet stream over the eastern and northeastern United States. What we're going to see in the next few days is just these little areas of energy kind of riding along that ridge. We call them ridge riders, and they kind of just kick up some showers and thunderstorms during peak afternoon heating. It's not really a one defined system. It's just these little disturbances, basically. And so for tomorrow, it's about a 40% chance of that, but it becomes a little bit more widespread on Tuesday and Wednesday, just a little bit better ingredients in play. And by Wednesday, a little bit more cloudy as well. So overnight tonight, aside from some high clouds and maybe some marine fog out over Lake Michigan, things stay pretty quiet. We'll fall to, I think, the mid to upper 60s. I think those temperatures that it was showing a little bit on the cool side for tomorrow at lunchtime, 80 degrees, give or take, and a little bit of clouds start to develop. And there's those afternoon showers and storms I was talking about. That's 4 p.m. Notice they're kind of hit or miss, so it's not a washout, and it's the sort of thing where you're going to want your radar app, Severe Weather Center 3. We got interactive radar on there for you. just have it handy if you have any outdoor plans. You might have to wait out a storm or two, and then those kind of taper off as the sun starts to go down. So for Memorial Day, we start off with sunshine, some clouds into the afternoon, but still a mix of sun and clouds with a high around 86 degrees and that 40% chance of some showers and storms. If you're in places like South Haven, Holland, especially up towards Muskegon, it's a little less likely you see some of those showers, so that's good for beachgoers. It's a little bit more likely if you are east of US 131. Those showers and storms could be enhanced by something called a lake breeze into the afternoon. Our temperature trend showing that we're staying warmer than average the next 5 days, our average high being right around 72, 73 degrees right now. Our rain chances in the next several days, again, Wednesday, Thursday seem to be the more washout days of the week if you're looking for that. Here's the muggy meter, though, the next few days. It's staying definitely muggy. Our dew point temperature, that's kind of what we're using to gauge this off of, staying in the mid to upper 60s. And South Haven right now is a little bit black on the screen there. It looks like our camera's down. South wind at about 10 to 20 miles per hour expected for tomorrow. Waves around a foot, so we have a low chop and a good day to maybe be in a boat tomorrow on the lake. 73 in Battle Creek, and as far as your Maple Otter Group 7-8 is concerned, we get even warmer on Tuesday with those showers and storms. A little bit cooler thanks to some cloud cover and more widespread rain Wednesday, Thursday, but then a cold front knocks us back into the 70s. High pressure dominates next weekend, so we stay dry. It's going to be gorgeous next weekend. Callie?
Yes, it will be. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, Will. Well, honoring those who gave their lives for this country. Why one group is stepping up to honor our veterans this Memorial Day. Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is about honoring our fallen service members. This Memorial Day will be different than most at Fort Custer National Cemetery. Typically, the cemetery hosts a Memorial Day ceremony. This year, it won't because of the pandemic. David Bacon is making sure veterans are still being honored. He organized a group to place more than 38,000 flags on graves. He says it's great to see so many people showing their support.
I just feel like now with the way everything's been going on, it's nice to see the community band together like this to thank the veterans. It feels great, but it's even nicer just to see everybody coming together to take their part.
And Bacon says thanks to social media, they were able to get volunteers, flags, and donations. A local racing community is blaming COVID-19 for empty seats. The pandemic isn't stopping people from burning rubber in Martin, though. Fans from all across the state go to the US 131 Motorsports Park. This weekend, it held a private practice session. The park says under the outdoor recreation order, it's in compliance. With limited racers and no fans, the seasonal business says it's trying to keep afloat.
Unfortunately, we're not able to open to all the racers that we'd like to be able. We had to turn many racers away, and that's really unfortunate because we would love to have everybody racing.
Temperature checks at the gate were also taken, as well as online check-in only, so no tickets were exchanged. As soon as the state gives the okay for public gatherings of larger sizes, it says it'll open. And we'll be right back with one last check of your Memorial Day forecast.
Download the WWMT.
Well, I don't know about you, but my heart will go on for these 80s in the coming days. A few afternoon pop-up showers and storms tomorrow. More widespread chances of rain for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday before a big cool down and gorgeous conditions later in the week. Callie?
Well, I'm guessing you feel the same about pickle pizza too, right?
Pretty much. You nailed it.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us on this Sunday evening. Have a great night.